Hello, and welcome to the channel. My name's Cedar, and today we're continuing on with Timberborn. Last time on the channel, we were trying to figure out how to start gathering water. We were trying to build a dam. We were trying to survive our first drought. At the end of the video, we were constructing our dam in full, and between videos, I let it kind of complete, which took so long that we're actually in a second drought. So when we start here, you'll see that we're in a drought, and that this is completed. I will point out I had to make some adjustments to it. So originally I just had these levee blocks, 3 blocks high all the way across. That actually led to some flooding pretty much everywhere. All these crops got soaked temporarily, and like half of my buildings got put underwater. So I did demolish some of the pieces, and I just replaced them with dam pieces that would let some of the water through. But again, this is during a drought, so we won't really see any water getting through there. Anyway, so what's next on our foray into Timberborn here? Great question. Let's formulate a plot, shall we? So we have 28 beavers and 1 child, because we only have 30 beds. We have a lot of food and not as much water as I'd like in order to expand our beaverhood. But we are full up on water, which tells me that we can probably just make some more storage for water, and our output might just continue to fill it. I'm a bit curious what drives the productivity of this. Percentage of time spent on production as opposed to downtime, such as carrying materials. So you're telling me 1/3 of the time they carry the water from here to here, or here, or here? I don't know if I believe that. Or is it that way because they're literally never doing anything because they have nowhere to put the water? Maybe that's the issue. Maybe they'd be more productive if there was more water storage. What if we just had copious amounts of water storage? What about that? Let's try that on for size. I don't remember what else we were building or doing. I see some people going all the way out here. But yeah, this is to gather wood. And then our haulers, I think. Are these haulers coming to get the wood? Pause. Who are you? Works at the district center. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I want this to store water in this. All of these. Does their productivity go up or down? There's more places to put water. I guess we'll see over time. Food-wise, we have 168 potatoes in storage. 410 of them are being baked or grilled. We have our grill in full operation. Our farmhouses can both store potatoes, raw potatoes, so that's not really an issue. We have a lot of haulers, which tells me that we should be able to spend more time or money doing other things. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a path around here. Like this. And I'll start building other buildings around here. And the reason I zigzagged it is because I could specifically put an inventor right here, which I think is a good idea. And then it kind of allows us to use this back area for stuff too. Maybe I'll build a second campfire. I'll be honest, I don't picture myself ever putting trees back here, so we'll probably just expand. Put some things back here. Maybe we could put more housing back here. Or something. suppose I could work on doing that as well. And I think I'll just kind of mirror what's happening out front. Meaning that every other space here should probably not be a... Well, actually, I'm lying. Sorry, I have to actually put the houses down. We'll kind of just mirror this. So we'll delete every other row starting here. And we'll place housing. So. Of course, we could eventually upgrade these to double and triple lodges, which are just more efficient resource-wise. So, like, for example, each of these holds 3, so across these 4 wide gaps, we hold 12 beavers. So it's 12, 24, and then another 3. Or, sorry, I'm considering the height too. So 12, 24, and then another 6. So it's just 30 altogether, which is why we have 30 right now. But with the triple lodge, you get 9 per piece. So instead of it being 12, 24, you'd get halfway through here, you would get 9. And then through this other building, you'd get 18. Which actually, now I'm saying that out loud, is the same. So, the only benefit, I guess, is that it has 1 entrance. Then other than that, I guess I'm not really sure what the difference is. But anyway, I'm fine with just using the normal lodging for now. And then as before, we'll just slap a bunch of pathways up before them. Surprised to see that we're full up on planks. Tells me we should maybe make storage for planks. Where are the logs being stored right now? No goods in stock. I don't actually see any wood. I think in this menu you can see where your resources are. Somewhere. Storage, I think. Logs. 156 logs. Where are you? Oh. Oh, I know why this is. This is why. I said that this should obtain resources from other warehouses so that, we could build this faster. I meant to only do that temporarily. Okay, this should supply... It'll be our main source. I guess this is our main source of wood, eh? Dang. That was a mistake on my part. Now, I saw that there were some beavers that were very upset. Oh, it's our haulers and our builders. Okay, they're just not taking the time to eat and stuff. That's on them. I will not claim responsibility for their unhappiness. I don't think I want to build all of these things I just made, though. Just because it's going to be a lot. But 4 more houses, I think. 12 more beavers would be welcome. And then, what would we do with them is the next question. Well, we have some more fertile area here. We could try to build up over here and get the water to flow this way. Although I think I need the water to flow from the top this way. So we should actually build from up here. You know, it's a lot more building to do. And we should try to basically wall off this whole area so that the water has to kind of go this way. And it might eventually flood down this way a little bit, but I think the goal is to get it just across this short gap and into there, which means I could also maybe build a levee around here. So I think maybe this will be what I prioritize next. Go ahead and hit play. We'll just mark these to be demolished. And some of these to be demolished, I guess, so we can build a pathway. Actually, I think I'll just get the whole slew of them. And we'll just build along the wall here. Demolish all of these. And then we're going to want... Maybe I should move some resources out here, actually, now I'm saying the whole supply demand thing. Because maybe we should mark storage bin here. Say that this is meant to be obtaining logs. Now, I say that realizing I'm trying to spend a lot of logs all of a sudden, and I don't think I have steady supply of them. Well, I could put a lumberjack flag down here to get all these oak trees. Oak trees have a lot of wood. And I don't think the forester would replant them, which is fine, because we're, I think, eventually going to fill this with water. Maybe this will be, I think this is where our aquatic farm is going to be eventually. I'll just slap a lumberjack flag down here to get these trees. Of course, I have to remember to mark them for cutting. One thing I never remember to do. And I like to cover the whole area when I'm doing this, because sometimes the trees will spread, especially if they're alive. I could also build down into this area, I guess. There's all kinds of oak trees up here that we could get, actually, if I just bridged across. I am curious how much of the area would be fertile once I run this water through here. My guess is that it'll affect most of this, but not all of it. And it'll affect almost none of this because of the height difference. You'll see over here, see how, like, the fertile land doesn't really go that far in, even though it's directly next to a water source. Height does kind of reduce the span. And you can kind of see a good example of this here. From here to here, if I do something like this, just so we can see the blocks. You get about 14 or 15 blocks away from water if it's at the same height. But if we're over here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a bit less because it's up an extra level. And I guess 3 levels deep is a lot more dramatic. And maybe this is, maybe it's not 12 deep. Maybe it's something like, you know, because of the way that it's sloping or whatever, maybe it's diagonal. But the idea is that you get a much reduced level of fertility as you go higher from the water. Which leads me to believe that on this side, because of how high this is, that this area wouldn't get all that fertile. So maybe we just bridge across here. Or, you know, ramp across, or whatever you'd want to call it. And I'm trying to see a kind of easy way to do that. Could do it near this metal that we'll eventually collect. I think I'm okay with that. So, trying to envision what this should look like. Probably something like this, and then we'll need a platform, which I don't have unlocked yet, actually. I'm surprised to see. Platforms are huge for construction purposes. Something like this. And then we'll obviously put paths on any or either side of things. And I guess we can just do something like this. People are thirsty. I'm surprised by that. I think it's because I don't have water kind of like where people are working and stuff. I'd also say it's because we're in a drought, but we have water here, so it doesn't actually affect anything. But yeah, so all this in mind, let's figure out where we want the levees to go. Actually, no. I think I need to gather more trees. So you're covering this area. Someone's now covering this area. I think I need to get someone up here getting trees. I know I just kind of pathed across, and that's good. But I'll have to get a pile of trees being made. Ideally, they'd cover this whole area. What if I put you right here and path to you? Like, get all the oak trees up top there. Looks like it does. Even though it's kind of like wedged in here, this will be where this is. Ideally, I'd put the log pile a bit closer, but landscape won't allow it. Then eventually we'll have someone come up here and gather metal, but I don't think we're in a rush to start getting metal. Partly working with what we got already. And I think I've deprioritized the hauling building. So now whenever we have jobs for other beavers to do, they'll go do those other jobs before they work in the hauler building, which is preferred, I think. Let's super fast forward here, get things kind of moving. That way we can see if people are starting to collect wood and stuff. I think wood is definitely my most limiting resource right now. Planks will be too, but planks come from logs, so I don't exactly need to kind of outstretch my bounds or whatever when it comes to getting planks. Trying to figure out where else I'd want to store planks in the long term. I guess here is fine. I could always destroy and move it later. About ends in half a day, so I'll have to dedicate workers to working in. I'll just say the lumber mill, but maybe not. I think our beavers are still overproductive. That's surprising to me. Guess we can get even more. I basically want to have enough small tanks so that the beavers are constantly putting water into the tanks and not ever sitting around. You know? Drought ended. Cycle 4 begins. So all the different cycles mean, I'm pretty sure, is that you'll start seeing different weather events, like bad tides, or you'll see longer and longer droughts, which if you have good water management and you can kind of trickle feed yourself water constantly, not a big deal. Oh, we have another case where I didn't mark the trees to be cut. So true. So real for that. These trees, my good man. Or whatever it is. Beaver. My good beaver. You should be for logs. It should also be a prioritized construction site so that this guy doesn't carry all the logs into town after they're done there. He's exhausted. Oh shoot, we never lowered this back. I don't remember this being... I think I upped this to 16 during the drought, or up to 20 during the drought, so that they would work better. I don't know. Oops. Interesting. So they sleep until their bar is full, and they eat and drink until their bar is full. Oh yeah, maybe I should consider their wellness. Maybe today should be a wellness a wellness-focused day. I'm not sure how to gauge the popularity of this, or like what this means. They visit the campfire, they get completely boosted. Oh, I see. So, again, I don't know how to read this. Does this mean that everyone's been getting covered and they just don't need to go back to the campfire? So in recent days, only people that needed to have been coming? I'm not sure. Not sure how to read all that. Do I have lumberjack flags that are cutting these? Oh yeah, right here. Why do I have 2 sets? I think these can be demolished. I know you're like doing something or whatever, but I'd rather this be a pathway to good things. And then this could be another tooth grindstone or something. How many of those do I have? 2 or 3? Just something to boost morale. I have almost 1,000 science points, so we can maybe invest those into more well-being things. Medical beds are going to be needed soon eventually because the beavers start getting injured as they start to work, especially if you put them at different types of buildings that are more treacherous, let's say. Also, I'm seeing a bit of a folly here. I could have put the stairs on the opposite side, kind of mirrored the front, and then I would have had enough room for an extra road piece over here. I could do that for the remainder of these, I guess. It'll be a little uneven looking, but functionally it prevents them from going all the way around. Unless they all go that way. I mean, maybe that's fine, just them going that way instead of this way to get to and from home. It's just a little less efficient. I see any beavers using this road to go from like here to home. Anyway. More leisure incoming. Let's see. Rooftop terrace is an interesting one. Now, unfortunately, you can only enter a rooftop terrace from the front. You can't, like, put the entrance on the side or whatever. So you pretty much have to put it on a roof that you can get to the top of from the middle. And a lot of things have doors in the middle, so it makes for a little bit of an awkward setup. So, like, one thing you kind of have to do is something like this, where you put stairs and a platform down. And ideally you do that from a road piece, so maybe I'll move these to the other side. Like that. And then that allows you to put rooftop terraces down. Of course, all these things cost planks and wood, which kind of stinks because I want to build that levee over there, but we're working on gathering wood, and we've got lumber mills working on turning them into planks and such. What else can we make for their well-being? Oh yeah, I mentioned medical beds would be a good idea. I still agree with this. Unconnected building. Oh yeah, I forgot to put a path on top. I think 10 beds will be enough. 50 logs and 10 planks incoming. Let me just toss the pads I forgot down. What else? What else? You don't have any, Oh, beaver is injured. Good thing I just made medical beds for you to sleep in.
water.
It's almost as if I knew. Anyway. These trees are being cut, fill in this. Maybe this should be set to supply goods elsewhere, because it's just so far away. And then this is set to obtain so that they can start the levee project. That's right. Here I am forgetting my lofty goals and expectations. So what is this actually going to look like? What is the least costly version of this that I can do? Well, I think I might know. I think I might actually want to use floodgates here so I can actually control. Oh, but floodgates are so expensive. So I can actually control how much water is being used. But if I want to triple floodgate across this whole gap, which I honestly think I do, because look at how this covers the entire gap. It's going to cost a lot of resources to do this. I mean, that's... how many pieces is that? Holy. Eight. So 8 times 30 is 240 planks, and then, or 240 logs, and then half that in planks. Just for the triple floodgate. I also don't have a way across this whole thing of water to, like, continue building this, I'm realizing. I would need a way across in order to get to the next pieces. So we'll work on that too. And ideally that wouldn't cost us resources. AKA, ideally I would just have like a stairway down, for example. Maybe we'll do that. It also gets them the wet fur effect. I guess I'll prioritize these being built. And then I'll make these the next highest priority. So we build these first and then build these. That's kind of the idea. Because once these are built, they'll be able to get into the water and reach these. The idea of the triple floodgate is that I'd be personally in control of how high the water can go. So when you put these down, you see I can manually adjust the height myself. It's not something the beavers have to do. It's something I can do as the god of this world, or however you would look at it. So it basically just allows for us to manage that. I also need to come down here. So even though I kind of already put some stairs into the ground, and I probably could have done this a little bit more. Actually, yeah, I should do this resource. Better resource-wise. We'll do it like this. We'll prioritize these, because these are the stairs that will allow us to go both this way and this way. And that's better, I think. Nothing to do in range. Are you sure? You are sure. You are out of wood to cut. Logs to cut. Guess I could put you down into here if you want. Oh, and this sees up top too. That's interesting. My focus is for this to see... kinda down here. Guess like that. That sees quite a bit of wood. I'm being very haphazard with my pathing here. And then of course, as always, we have to mark trees to be cut. If I just start here, I can maybe drag along this entire riverbed thing. I should honestly just mark like every tree on the map to be cut, realistically. I'll be amazed if I ever have a time where I'm like, oh shoot, I meant to keep all of those. At least when it comes to the trees that were naturally planted. Some of the trees can provide resources like chestnuts and maple syrup and stuff, but I'm not personally worried about all that. And actually, some of these are oak trees, so I'll probably want to cut some of these too eventually. We'll just prepare like that's the truth. Mark everything. You're up to 443 wood while building things, so that's lovely. Maybe I should temporarily have a give me planks thing here. Especially because these all need planks, so it'll save us a trip or two if we actually have some plank storage here. This is for planks. Obtain goods from other resources. Construct it. Actually first, because it only takes 6 logs. It would be a quick trip for 2 beavers or 3 beavers to do. We got all this bad water right in our backyard that we could eventually build up to like we were over here to put some power down because it's a narrow river, or just to start gathering. I think ideally we want to kind of expand our fertile land so we have more areas that we can infiltrate and command. We have 4 unemployed beavers at this point. That's crazy to me. And our hauling station is completely full. Maybe it's time to build a builder's hut. To employ additional builders. Now the idea of the builder's hut is that you want to actually build it near where things are being built. And I can tell you I'm going to want to build a lot of stuff in this area soon-ish. Now, this only employs, I think, 4 builders, so it's nothing super impactful, but useful nonetheless. And as with everything else, it uses a ton of resources. We'll do important construction site to get it built and ready to help us, and then we'll deprioritize the workplace so that people might work elsewhere before they become dedicated builders. Also, I might benefit from trying to boost the wellness of certain buildings and stuff, so if we put decorations down, for example, we can boost the wellness of some of these buildings. I don't really know what a lot of these do, though, so I won't really focus on them just yet. Coming back to here and considering wellness, I think I do want a second campfire. I was kind of originally thinking about that, but not committed to it. And I think right there is fine, even though it's a little off-kilter compared to what else is there. A Lido would be very welcome. This allows beavers that aren't traveling through the water to experience the water. We can actually do it from up here, which is pretty wild. Oh wait, we could put them up here. 250 science points. That's kind of a lot of science points. That also costs a ton of resources, believe it or not. Oh wait, I thought I could have 2 of these next to each other on here. That would have been cool. Just like a little nook of Lidos. I think that's how you pronounce that, Lido. We'll still build one. I just don't know exactly where I care to do that. Like little nooks in here that you could technically put it in, but I don't really want to put it right here because for now we have kind of like a power supply thing going here. and I don't really want to interfere with that. Swan Water Wheel's really putting in the business. I appreciate it. You put some levees in here to try to make the water stronger on either end. I mentioned that a little bit ago and never actually committed to it. I think once we get these floodgates up and this whole situation figured out, that might be a bigger priority. Because yeah, I do want to kind of flood this area a bit. Which now that I'm saying that out loud means I should maybe get rid of these roads. As they're going to get in the way of if we put levees up. And I think I do want to put levees up specifically. Something like this. And maybe one for good luck here. As long as those can be reached. Actually, I don't think we need this one. Maybe we don't need this one either. Because as long as it's built up along this wall, the water will kind of pool this way and then get dragged over here. And I'm hopeful that it means that it would all funnel that way. Of course, if I build up the water too high, it's going to start flooding over this wall too. But the main goal is for it to go this way and start coming down here. We'll set this to just shy of 2 blocks high, just to see what the actual effect on it is. And then yeah, our wood and plank production is going really well right now. Due in part to the fact that we've expanded our areas to include other wooded areas. Any other wooded areas. It's not like our current wood supply is supplying us with everything we need. Although I guess it's doing a pretty good job. And I'm shocked to see that we're still completely maxed out on our water production from 2 water pumps. Genuinely shocked by that. We could just put more water storage across this entire garden, honestly. And I have a feeling it'll be just fine. We have another drought approaching, but we have water kind of completely under our control at the moment, so I'm not really worried about that. So much water, or how faster the water comes through areas that only have a couple pathways for the water to go. It's an incredible funneling effect. Oh, here starts the flooding. The flooding is happening, and we're not even done with our floodgates yet. Oh yeah, that's going to be a flooded building now. That's a shame. Will he still work at a flooded building? I guess not. Oh well, we lose a bit of trees that way, but all for good reason. This being flooded is a bit of a problem, though. I don't think I want this much water staying this way. Oh yeah, actually this is considerably more water than I wanted. Okay, we'll lower this even more then. We'll lower it to less than 1. Settle down, water. Settle down, settle. I think the damage might be done though. As we put more water in here than it can seem to handle. So much so that it's actually like flowing over this blockage. Oh no, there we go, it settled down. Okay, cool. So yeah, we can kind of at will, we can kind of make sure that there's water in this area permanently. And it's kind of shut off from like bad tides and stuff, so this water is actually going to be pure during bad tides. It's a good thing to realize. And if we put this up, I don't really have to worry about it flooding this area so much. I mean, I do when this overfills, which it's already full. But a drought will make sure that that's gonna start evaporating, so not really the end of the world. But then, yeah, we see that even though this river is filled in, a lot of this area isn't actually made fertile from that. So maybe I should consider trying to get water into here kind of naturally. And I never marked any of these to accept water. And we'll see how productive these guys end up being now. It won't ever be 100% because they have to actually transfer the water out of there. So they constantly start and stop the pump. But the idea is that we just want to try to increase their productivity as much as we can. Now, if we remove the blockage that's over here, well, if I remove this blockage, I'd want to replace it with simple floodgates. You know, single floodgates, I guess. Because I want to be able to control that sometimes this is closed and sometimes this is not closed. But if this is not closed, we can get some movement in the water through here. And we can make it so that we can constantly supply water this way, as opposed to having to only fill it when droughts are over. So maybe that's a move that we could do, especially during the drought when things like our lumber mills are paused. I think we'll do that. We can mark these for being demolished. And we'll path to them from right here. Oh, we don't need to path to them from right here. Oh, now we do. Uh-oh. We did these in the wrong order. Now a beaver is stuck on one. Uh-oh. Well, like I said, I'm going to want to put a floodgate here anyway, so we'll kind of double whammy this. Wait, can this not be reached then? Ugh, you know. Maybe if I put a path from up here, they'll be able to reach it. I just don't know how far the path has to go. Too far. No, it's not. Okay. But as before, we're gonna need a way over here to build the floodgate. Actually, I guess if they can get to here to demolish this, they can get to here to build the floodgate, huh? Makes sense to me. Okay, so now that that's there, we can put our last simple floodgate here. Keep calling them simple, I don't know why. Single. Ready to mingle. Also, I think this little overhang that's here kind of allows water to get through here if it gets too high. I guess we'll see once the water's back in 5 days. How are we doing? We're on a surplus of food and a surplus of water. Steady supply of grilled potatoes incoming. We're able to control water in this river on both ends, which is exciting. Once this is filled up. Really just finishing building it. Yep, there we go. So now we have another adjustable floodgate. And I guess we'll treat this like a dam. Allow some water to pass through. I don't know how much. I'll do 90% and see what it looks like. It'll probably flood or something, but whatever. Okay, what else can we effectively do. I don't think I see a purpose to have these up here anymore. And this was only here to supply this, so we can get rid of this. This is kind of just like a wasted expanse that we can maybe figure out some things to do over here eventually. I could start gathering some metal from right here, actually. This is a very short distance from home, unlike this other side. We have 5 unemployed workers looking for things to do, so why not turn them into metal gatherers? I say. See if that's a problem. So we will have metal storage for the workers, and then we'll have metal storage. Oh, I don't know. Maybe toward the water here. Why was this here? Just an outlet for planks. This will eventually be useful when we have a gear warehouse here. But I guess I'll make a second storage pile for... I don't know. This probably won't be where we put up like our main power area. Maybe that'll be back here. If we get this water flowing consistently, because it'll be maybe pretty strong, this water coming through here. If we funnel it right, it'll just be very powerful, coming down a bunch of... Actually, I think the speed gets reduced when it comes downward. It's only if you funnel it side to side that it gets a lot done. Your job is done. There's no more lumberjacking to be done here. Ah, we have 6 people that are bored. That's crazy to me. A lot of people aren't building or aren't producing food because we're just kind of on top of everything. So yeah, I guess that means we can start expanding our productions into different areas. So for example, we can start making gears in a series of gear workshops. And I think I kind of want all these buildings I place here to be adjacent. So as silly as it is, I'm going to make a couple platforms here so that I can build gear workshops and stuff on top. We're also going to want to start considering our metal production. So we can build a smelter. I think smelters are a little bit bigger, unfortunately. So this smelter would go all the way to the road, but that's fine. I think we want to increase our power production here so we can put another couple water wheels side by side here. I don't think they'll be all that strong until we do put levees here and kind of like funnel the water from here over a bit. So 2 high levees is 24 wood apiece. Or we can make floodgates, which are more expensive. I guess we'll just do levees then. So say from about, I don't know, right from this wall, we funnel it over to this road. Something similar. I need the water to go on both sides, so it's not like this can be completely shut off, but like, we'll leave kind of a, almost as if we're making a path along the wall here. We'll kind of leave 1 block of water intact. And then we'll levee off this entire area so that all the water's kind of going along the shoreline here. We kind of only want to allow a path of like 2 or 3 wide. 1, 2, 3 type of thing. So to the road. Which I think means that I'll have to move my path here a little bit. So it'll be a little less efficient to path this way, but that's just going to have to be okay. I think the only thing I'm going to have over here is like a milling station. We're going to make like grain and stuff over here. So I think I'm just going to have to... This path is fine, but on this side I think we're going to have to do something like this instead. Till we're past here, and then we can come back around. And then our levees will go pretty much everywhere else. Levee. And same as before, we kind of want to look at this as if we're pathing around this way. Block off everything that isn't like 1 or 2 wide. Although now that I'm saying that, if I do want to power something here eventually, this is probably a bit overkill. We want some of the water to actually go this way. So maybe we don't make this as intense or whatever as I'm setting up here. Maybe we do something like this. And then get rid of some of this. Of course, we need it to kind of feed into here somewhat gently. So I guess I will make it sort of diagonal like this. Something like that, maybe. I think this being sharp cutoff is a bit weird too. Maybe we'll kind of corner that a little. Hard to say. Now, hopefully they build these in a way where they don't make the middle ones inaccessible. I guess we'll see how that turns out. Of course, we could path across there or whatever to make sure that they can get on top and manage everything. But I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, I forgot to put a path in front of this new gear workshop. Now we're gonna put a metal smelter here eventually. This of course requires gears and scrap metal to be built. But the idea is that we'll put it right over here. Max power. Yeah, man. That's true. Make sure you get your power then. Okay. What else can we do in the last few minutes here? I guess we can start getting some metal production online. I kind of started it over here. And you can see that we did that because we managed to... Oh no, we didn't manage to build this yet because it's not connected. Pet there, pet there, pet there, pet there. That's a lot of planks and such. Path all the way over here. And then, yeah, we have copious amounts of beavers that don't have jobs and stuff. So I guess I can unlock and do a couple beavers working on metal gathering. It happens quick, though. Get all kinds of scrap metal, it seems like, from these. Because they don't exactly go away the way that wood does. All this scrap metal. We'll say that this supplies other warehouses. So that if I have scrap metal in town here, maybe like along the water here, for example, we can be sure that scrap metal comes here and is being supplied, and then our processed metal can go here. That is the metal blocks. So, lots of good things being moved around. I don't have a gatherer flag over here anymore, do I? To gather berries in this warehouse. We'll see if this can eventually be emptied. Unfortunately, we have a gatherer over here that's getting these berries, and we don't really have a use for the berries normally. But I'd much rather use this for potato production. Even though I think our farmhouses can contain the potatoes. We're super topped up on carrots, though. We're not even, like, plucking carrots. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I should consider switching some carrots for a different type of resource. Spatter docks and cattails would maybe do good in this area. Can the farmhouses reach into the water? I mean, a little bit, but not really. I think we'll just do that over here. Spatter docks and stuff, and then we'll put cattails there too. And our wheat can be nearby. But of course this needs to have water in it first, and we'll have to see how it affects the nearby areas. I don't know how submerged those pieces could be. But I think that'll be what we work on next time, because we're at about an hour here. But a very successful day. We managed to essentially start a second area of water, which we can see here if I increase this height to 1.9. We'll see if the water fills up and starts going this way. Down our new little channel here. Very controlled, very nice. And yeah, it doesn't go all the way. It's very close, but it doesn't go all the way to the water here. And then, before I let things flood, we can make sure that this kind of allows the water to go through in a way that's manageable. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, wait. A little too much. Oh yeah, because this is putting all of the water that way. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. Hold on. Avoid catastrophe real quick. Hold on. Although, hey, wait, maybe I did want to do that so that it fills this with water. Maybe. Maybe that was all calculated. Maybe I wanted to fill that real quick. Actually, maybe I do want to fill that real quick. Wall off the water. Cause a flood. Flood this. Flood this. Flood this. Flood this. All under control. Chaotic control, but all under control. There's also thankfully no crops or whatever over here that are being affected by this. I think. I basically want to fill this hole right here. Looking pretty close to full. As it is. Okay, perfect. Now we'll lower this to like 25%, and we'll lower this to, oh, I don't know, 1.5 maybe. That's safe to say. We will see. All of our beavers have wet fur though, so it's not all bad. I think that's maybe still too high. 0.5 something. No, that's too low. We'll find a happy medium in here somewhere. Is the magic number just 1? And then on this side it's something. Maybe 0.5. Does it back up enough to flood? What if I do it even higher, like 7.5? This seems decent and controllable, I guess. Water going this way, water going that way. We got ourselves an entire area of water. And even this is filled in now, which might be too much. I don't really know how to tell what partially submerged stuff looks like. But I guess that means we'll work on aquatic planting and expanding across the river in our next episode. We'll get established over here. Anyway, if you made it this far, I thank you so much for watching. Enjoy content like this, please feel free to check out the rest of my content on my channel and come on by our Twitch and YouTube streams. We've been playing games like Timberborn and many others all the time. I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you take care. Bye now.